It's a very good afternoon. Welcome to ZTN News Blitz. Let's take a look at our top stories. Zim employers claim massive job losses due to COVID-19. Wildfires kill 3 people in Zimbabwe. Brian Kay launches Beeper worldwide. And in sport, Zim Rugby Union breaks down the return of the game. Employers in Zimbabwe say an estimated 200,000 to 300,000 jobs were lost in the formal sector due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the subsequent lockdown. But government disputes these figures. Employers Confederation of Zimbabwe President Dr. Israel Murefu told ZTN that 20 to 30% of the estimated 1 million formerly employed Zimbabweans are now unemployed as a result of the pandemic, with the hospitality sector being the worst affected.
We have experienced the job losses across all sectors of the economy. In terms of sectors that have been hard hit, we have the tourism sector, including hotels and the travel sector. These sectors were closed, or companies in these sectors were not operating, but they are beginning to open up. But generally, our estimate is that 20 to 30% of employees in the country lost their jobs. There is prospects that some might recover their jobs when the companies that they work for also recover and turn around.
Hospitality Association of Zimbabwe President Clive Chinwada says the impact of COVID-19 on the sector will have lingering effects.
Just starting to open their premises or reopening their premises, which have been closed since the end of March. So in the absence of trading, it becomes unsustainable to support any staff payments structures. So yes, indeed, we believe that the ramifications of COVID-19 to our sector will continue to be witnessed even as we go into the coming year, because we are on a long path to recover. We will not wake up and have full hotels all of a sudden, especially for international travel destinations like Victoria Falls.
However, Labour Minister Professor Paul Mavima disputes the estimates by MCOS on job losses.
What is the basis of that statistics? Where are they getting the basis that statistics? Because we have what is known as the retrenchment board, which records all retrenchments. And in fact, the number for this year is much lower than the number for last year, as far as retrenchments are concerned. But it pleasantly surprised that there was less retrenchments this year than last year. People may have lost income, but they did not necessarily lose jobs.
Industries in Zimbabwe say the country's domestic and external debt is proving to be an albatross in their operations. Zimbabwe owes several multinational institutions large amounts of money, which were accrued over decades. Officially, Zimbabwe's debt is $7 billion United States dollars. As a result, local industries cannot access lines of credit to fund their operations. Confederation of Zimbabwe Industries Chief Economist Tafadzwa Bandama spoke to ZTN.
The impact of public debt on the public sector depends on the efficiency in public spending, which is the fiscal multiplier of the country. If public debt is not well managed, it results in lack of lines of credit to the private sector, a high country risk, which makes loans expensive, and the crowding out of the private sector from the credit market by the public sector, because government finds it easier to borrow. The private sector will also experience a high tax burden, because the public sector will be battling to raise revenue in order to service their debt payments.
Another economist, Persistence Kwanyanya, says industry is the biggest loser.
Currently, both foreign and domestic is an albatross in the neck of the country. If you look at the debt ratios, the debt to GDP ratio, I think we are sitting in a very unenviable position. It's a very bad position as a country. That has got an impact of accessing further debt in the international financial markets and also in the local markets, it becomes very difficult to access debt at a reasonable and favorable terms.
Now moving on, 3 people have been killed so far in wildfires in Zimbabwe since the start of the fire season. The country's fire season starts on July 31 and ends on October 30. According to the Environmental Management Agency, 2 deaths were recorded in Mashonaland East Province and 1 in Mashonaland West Province. EMA spokesperson Namkela Sidange told ZTN that there has been a 16% drop in the number of fires recorded so far and a 24% decline in land destroyed by fire this year compared to the same period last year.
Recorded about 848 fire incidences that have destroyed over 491,000 hectares of land. And if we compare with the same period last year, we had recorded about 1,013 fire incidences that had destroyed over 691,000 hectares of land. And now when we look at the reduction that we have realized so far, we have recorded about 16% reduction in fire incidences and 24% reduction in land lost to wildfires. Unfortunately, we have since lost 3 people, all males, 2 from Mashonaland East.
In news from the provinces, motorists in Zimbabwe's 3rd largest city, Gweru, have to dig deeper into their pockets to park their vehicles in the central business district. The local authority will, with effect from today, charge parking fees in United States dollars. Motorists can, however, pay the equivalent in local currency using the prevailing official exchange rate. Parking fees have been pegged at $1 United States dollar per hour, while vehicle clamping fees are now $30. Council spokesperson Vimbai Chungwaramuse speaks.
We did not increase the parking and clamping fees. What we simply did is to follow Statutory Instrument 185 of 2020, which allows anyone in business to use the US dollar or the Zimbabwean dollar whenever they are pricing their goods or their services. That is basically what we're doing. So what we're doing is we're saying that one can pay $1 US for parking or the equivalent using the prevailing bank rate of the day. If you're claimed, you pay $30 US or the equivalent using the prevailing bank rate.
When Rumbidzai Kanukangwe, then 35 years old, noticed a painful lump in her breast in 2016, her gut told her to consult her doctor. But the doctor played it down and only advised her to visit a surgeon and have the lump removed. Rumbidzai's sixth sense told her the doctor was missing something. She insisted on further diagnosis and got the worst news of her life. She had stage 3 triple-negative breast cancer. But the news did not break her. Instead, it strengthened her resolve. This October, as we celebrate Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Rumbidzai stands tall as an inspiration. She told her story to ZTN's Itai Mutiniri.
I wasn't scared. I just told myself, Rumbi, this is your chance to shine. I told myself I would beat it. Of course, thoughts of fear, they would just come and, you know, try to upset you, but I said I trust in God.
Let's cross over to entertainment news. Social space is slowly opening up in Zimbabwe. Fun lovers now hang out at different chill spots around the country as lockdown restrictions have eased a little, and musicians are enthused. They can once more, after a 7-month forced hiatus, perform in the presence of revelers. Zimbabwean Afrofusion artist Brian K is delighted to have released his 3rd studio album at such a time. Titled Bibo Worldwide, the 17-track album was launched before an appreciative crowd in Harare recently. Brian K says he is happy to share his latest offering with his fans.
You know, with this project, some of the songs, I started working on them as far back as 5-6 years ago. You know, and I had them. When the time is right, you know, when I get the collaborations that I need for my songs, and I managed to do it with this album. It has 17 tracks, and it's available on YouTube. It's available on all online platforms, and it has some really amazing collaborations. I believe this is my best work yet. This is my best work yet, and this is probably, if not the best album in the country right now.
Why are you so far away? You can't distance from me. All my needs I gotta pray. You want me to see my man.
Now taking a look at sports news, where Zimbabwe Rugby Union President Aaron Jani says the country will resume rugby by breaking down the stages the board will have to go through.
By Dr. Austin Jeans. Their task is they're going to look at three sectors of our return to rugby. So they're going to look at the environment, which is the grounds at which we play, and they will draw up protocols for that. And they're going to look at the players, the most important players, and they will also draw up protocols for the players. The other area that they're going to look at is timelines. When do we start? Do we stagger the starting of playing rugby?
And finally, Blessing Mzalabani is expected to be named in the final Zimbabwe squad touring Pakistan later this month. With the team going into the bubble on Monday, the final squad announcement is imminent. ZTN understands selected Chevrons players will not play in the National League matches this Sunday. Zimbabwe will play Pakistan in 3 ODIs and 3 T20s in a series from October 30 to November 10. That's all for this afternoon. Thank you for watching.